Welcome to Insights into a Soul, the podcast that no one asked for. This is a podcast about life, love, and everything in between. So grab a cup of coffee and relax, and join me as we gain insights into a soul. What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Insights into a Soul. I'm your host, Torin. I just wanted to do a solo episode today. Been doing a lot of these lately, I guess, because I've been pretty reflective. But just today in particular, you know, as you know, going through a lot of life changes. Moving in a couple weeks, so started packing. Got a lot of packing to do. Not a ton, fortunately, but, you know, moving in a couple weeks, and things are starting to hit me. Things are starting to not feel okay, if that makes sense. And I've been reading a lot of stuff about relationships lately, and just like growth and working through things. I came to the revelation or conclusion today that, you know, I don't really wish that things had gone differently. One, because I don't want to go back to the past and continue to like wish and hope that things were different, or wish that things were different, because they can't. You can't change it. You can't change the past. What's done is done. And the only thing you can do is look at the situation, understand it the best you can, learn from it, and move on. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. Just learn from my situation and understand it the best that I can, knowing that I won't get all the answers I want necessarily. And also, like, the situation, my relationship ended on an okay note. It was hard, and I still look back on that day, and I still remember how much my ex was crying, and the pain and the hurt as she was leaving. Making this decision that in my head, I'm like, you don't have to make. You're making the decision. And while it was something we both agreed that it was the right move, it still wasn't something I really wanted. Still don't really want. But I do want it. Let's be honest. I mean, I am where I am, and overall, I'm a better individual. I'm a better person. I'm happier, healthier. I feel better about myself. I'm growing. I've been building new friendships and relationships and strengthening others. So overall, it's been a good change. But then, you have these times where things hit you, and it goes back to that whole thing of like, it's okay to not be okay. Because I'm to the point where I don't try to suppress my feelings, or, I very, very much try to not let them out at work, which isn't always easy. To not let them out, in social situations or stuff, which has been easy because we've been socially distanced and isolated, staying at home. But there, still there's that part of me that wants to be careful not to like push it on others or let it out on others, if that makes any sense. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And just like, I don't know, but with the move and everything coming up, I'm excited for it. I'm excited because it's a fresh start for me, a new opportunity. But it's also, it's also painful because it's the ending of an era for me of 6 years of being in a house, my first house that I purchased. But then you look at the positive, and I'm excited because my daughters will be closer to me, and I'll be able to spend more time with them. And again, fresh start, being able to decorate and have a new space and live in an apartment for a little while. And then, coming home today, I ran out to grab some lunch. And I was coming home today, just sitting in the car, looking at the house. The sadness hits. The hardness hits. You have these thoughts of, why couldn't it work? Could we still make it work? Should we try? And then the thoughts of, I don't want someone else raising my daughters. I know she'll eventually get remarried. She'll eventually move on. I'm sure we both will. Like, the thought of another guy raising my daughters. I've had a lot of people say like, oh, it's okay. Like, you won't be forgotten and you won't be replaced. And it's like, okay, a lot of those people have said that to me. One, have never experienced divorce. They don't have kids. or their parents weren't divorced. Their parents were still together and are still together. I'm the product of a divorce. Not only am I adopted, but my adopted parents got divorced. And, so I've been there. I've been through that. I've seen the situations, both sides of it. And it's not easy. It's a scary thought, and it's the thought of what's going to happen to me, what's going to happen to my family. I guess the unknown is what scares me. I guess that's why I'm doing this podcast. I just need to talk through these thoughts and just figure things out. Because I find that writing it, I can't always articulate what I want in writing, or I can't write fast enough. So talking through it is easier for me. Whether I post this podcast or not, I don't know. But it's just, I needed to talk. I needed to figure it out or work it out in my head, and I still don't have the answers. I'm scared. There's a lot of fear there. There's a lot of hope. There's a lot of excitement. But there's a lot of fear, if I'm honest. Fear of the unknown, fear of the future. Fear just that I'll continue to let people down. And I feel like I've let people down. I feel like my marriage failed. And as we've talked about before, my marriage didn't fail. It was just a chapter, a phase. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to feel that way from time to time. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have those times of doubt, of questioning, of pain. Pain. I don't know if the pain's ever going to fully go away. It'll get easier to deal with it, and it's further and farther between. And that's where I'm at now. Several months in. I've done a lot of growing, a lot of healing, got a long way to go. I'm just afraid of the future, of what's uncertain. I think we all are, a lot of us, let's say that, a lot of us are afraid of the future and concerned about how things are going to go. I had been thinking, I was like, man, I'm going to write this whole thing on forgiveness and talk about forgiveness and how important forgiveness is, which it is. But then you start thinking through the forgiveness stuff, and then the pain comes back. I've forgiven my ex for things that have happened. I've forgiven myself, which I think is one of the most important things, is forgiving yourself. We're so, I don't want to say we're quick to forgive, but we're so big on forgiving others or being forgiven ourselves that we don't even think about forgiving ourselves. We have to look inside of ourselves and forgive ourselves for what we've done, or decisions that we've made, or we're not always going to hit the mark. We're going to miss the mark, and that's okay. We're human. We're going to fail. We're going to screw up, and we need forgiveness. And we need forgiveness from ourselves. I need to forgive myself for stuff that I said or did, and not just to my ex. I've done that. I've done that part, and we've worked through some stuff together, which has been great. But I need to forgive myself for speaking badly about myself, for thinking that I was such a terrible person, or thinking that I was such a failure. I wasn't. I wasn't a terrible person. I wasn't a failure. It just, we didn't work. We weren't compatible anymore. 13 years together. Unfortunately, we got to the point where we realized we're two people growing in two different directions, and we didn't make the necessary adjustments or fixes at the points in forks in the road that we needed to. We waited too long to fix the shit that was going wrong. And we waited too long. It was started in the beginning, and we didn't fix it. We didn't talk about it. We didn't communicate enough or properly. We didn't love each other the right ways. We loved each other, and we still do. I believe that, but we didn't love each other the ways that the other person needed to be loved in order to feel loved, in order to feel valued. And I've forgiven myself for not loving myself, for not valuing myself. That's something I'm working on still. It's a continuous process. But, we need to forgive ourselves. You screwed up at a job, forgive yourself. You made a mistake. You know, it happens. If a relationship ends, it's not necessarily a failure. It could be that it just wasn't right, or just wasn't right. So often, I think, we try to force things that aren't right to work. We try to force a square peg into a round hole, or whatever it is. But we try to force something that isn't meant to happen, that isn't supposed to work. It's just not the way it's supposed to go when we push and we push and we push, and we get pissed off and mad at each other and mad at ourselves when it's not working, when maybe the reality of it is it's just you. You as individuals. You just don't work. People can be great friends and not be partners and be lovers. You know, there's some of my friends that I'm really good friends with them, and, you know, and down the road and in the future, I don't know. Maybe we could be partners. Maybe, you know, but part of it is I'm too afraid to even take, I mean, obviously I'm fresh out of a relationship, you know, several months, but, you know, I don't know. I'm at this weird place. I'm not trying to replace things, getting into a whole nother tangent, but you know what? That's what these episodes where I talk through my stuff are about. I mean, there's people that I like, and I'm too afraid to tell them that I have these feelings because, one, I don't want to be rejected. I think that's the biggest fear. Two, you know, I wonder if it's too soon to not get into a relationship, but entertain it even. And three, you know, I don't want to mistake someone's love and affection they have for me as a friend as more than that. I think it's very easy to do that, but I don't know. I don't even know what. That's a whole nother conversation and topic I've got to work through, is figuring out what the hell my future looks like, and if this person that expresses this interest in me is even a potential person. Could I see myself with them? Yes. Everything I know about them, and I've known them for a little while now, I see them as a potential partner, I guess. But I don't know how to go about it. And at the same time, I don't want to propose or profess feelings because I don't want to ruin the friendship that I have with that person. But then at the same time, it's like, well, am I going to let fear hold me back? Probably. I don't know. Yeah, but just, you know, you got to work through it, guys. You know, sometimes it just doesn't work for two people. And so, you know, did I love my ex? Absolutely. I loved her. I still do. I miss her. I'm very careful to look at things and say, well, do I miss her the way that things were? I miss the relationship. I miss the comfort. I miss all of that. I don't know, you know, I think it's just that. I miss the familiarity and what we had as a couple. And I miss the family dynamic, sure. It's that fear of someone else raising my daughters. It's the fears of never finding someone again. You know, 37 years old now. Starting over is a scary thing. In anything, but really, especially for me right now in a relationship, starting over is just scares the hell out of me. You know, you love so deeply and you get hurt, makes you not really want to love again, because it's scary. The pain is real. And so yeah, there's my thoughts for the day. Hooray! It's a Sunday and I've been packing, and here I am thinking about stuff. But it's better to get it out than to keep it in. That's what I always say. And so my challenge to you this week, listener, whoever you are out there in the universe, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for something that you've done. Forgive yourself for something that you've needed to forgive yourself for a while. And then another challenge, you know, don't keep it in. If you need to talk to someone, if you just need to vent, I'm always here to listen. insightsintoasoul@gmail.com. You can get me there. You can get me on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can find me. I'll be there to talk, to listen. But there's always someone available for you. Just know that. I feel like someone needs to hear that right now. And maybe one day I'll get the courage to step out and profess these feelings I have for this individual. Maybe I won't. I don't know. You know, and I know it's not me, just like a rebound thing at this point. It's not that. It's more than that. I want to see if it's even something potential, because I think it'll help me grow in another direction and continue to further remove myself from my previous situation. But again, I don't know. It's a whole other conversation. You know, whether or not that's smart or healthy. I don't know. Yeah, so thanks for joining me on this episode, this solo episode. Hopefully it wasn't too down and bothersome. You know, just working through some thoughts and working through some things. And I feel better talking. I feel better getting it off my chest, even if, you know, there's nobody talking back. It's knowing someone's listening. But I feel better about myself. I feel better about the situation. So thanks for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Find me on social media, Insights into a Soul Official? I don't remember what. Insights into a Soul on Instagram. I'm there. And on Facebook. But find me there and connect with me. Until next time. See you guys. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Insights into a Soul. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure to like and subscribe and to share it with your friends. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Insights into a Soul, on Instagram @TornH, and if you have suggestions for future episodes or topics, or if you'd like to be on the podcast, contact us, insightsintoasoul@gmail.com.